Hi friends, Zoe here. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, and that is how to become a digital nomad. And this is not going to be one of those YouTube infomercials that's telling you to download an ebook to become successful. It truly takes a lot of effort, work, and determination to achieve your goals. This video also might apply to those people who desire to work from home, from their own business, or have their own schedules. I'm just going to be uncovering some of the realities, the skills, the tools, and qualities that I've learned along the way. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Zoe, and I do love to talk about being a digital nomad, travel, minimalism, and just my life journey. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I definitely recommend clicking that subscribe button down below, turning on those notifications, and without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk to you about today is acquiring the skills that you need to become a digital nomad in the profession that you're desiring. So this could be anything like a graphic designer, it could be a freelance writer, different jobs that you can have from your laptops. There are a bunch. I'm going to link a video I made down below that gives you examples of a few jobs that you can do from the comfort of your laptop anywhere in the world. Me personally, I had to take a postgraduate program in sport and event marketing. I currently do freelance digital marketing and writing and a couple of other things, but you'll notice that when you start to develop skills in different online categories, you become a lot more creative and you're able to do more positions. But to gain the initial skills needed to, say, get jobs in the corporate world and to gain freelance clients, I had to take a postgraduate. This was a one-year consecutive program I took at George Brown College in Toronto, Ontario, and this was after completing an undergraduate degree. So sometimes it does require you to take those extra classes, take those extra courses, but know that the skills you're learning, as long as you find them interesting and you are captivated by them, keep pursuing it. You'll be able to learn the program, things will become more hands-on, and I also recommend, if possible, gaining an internship, because I truly felt like I learned the most by actually doing. Not doing for a grade, but actually doing for a company. So for example, helping out launch a campaign online. The next thing I want to talk about in regards to obtaining the skills that you need is to practice what you preach in those environments. If you're desiring a career in online digital marketing, show that you have an online presence, whether this be through apps like Instagram, Twitter, or even on Facebook. If you're active and you're showing people that you actually know how to build, say, your own brand on these platforms, you will get the job. That also comes to my next point, which is self-promotion. You're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that means putting yourself out there. Initially taking the jump, whether it be to show off your social presence in hopes to get clients, or to announce the launch of your business or your endeavors or what you're hoping to make into a new career of yours. So for example, I was very nervous about launching my YouTube channel, but I knew inside that this would lead to greater things, and it's something that I found enjoyment in. And little did I know in the process it would lead to other opportunities and other positions online, or people seeking my advice, which then you can charge for. It is initially, like I said, very uncomfortable. Sometimes it still is uncomfortable to promote yourself, really put yourself out there, but you gain so much more in return by stepping out of that comfort zone, and I promise you it will lead to great things. How do you expect people to find you or want to work with you if you aren't really existent? So promote yourself. Post whatever you want to post that you believe will in turn bring you back business. This isn't about anyone else, it's about yourself. Also, in alignment with self-promotion, you are going to need to network with people, and this often means attending events. And in my experience, it can be very beneficial to attend events alone, say not with a friend, because this pushes you to speak to people who you wouldn't normally speak to. When you go up to introduce yourself, you're introducing yourself alone, and you can make a memorable impression rather than going up to somebody with your friend and saying, you know, this is us too, this is what we do, this is what we're hoping for. If that is, say, your business partner, then fine, but if this is an endeavor that you are, say, seeking somebody to build a website for or have those types of conversations, you really want to make that memorable impression. When you do that alone, it really exudes a type of confidence that people like to work with. People like to work with those go-getters, those ambitious individuals, those people who aren't afraid to attend events themselves because they were so focused on their goal. Networking can also mean reaching out to people online, so I'm going to mention LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been an excellent resource for me in the past, And when I was a student at George Brown College, I didn't have a network of people in Toronto. I'm from BC in Canada, so moving out here, I didn't know anyone in the corporate world, and I really desired to work with the Blue Jays initially. So I decided to reach out to people on LinkedIn, and I reached out to the head of sponsorships and partnerships at the Blue Jays, and it turns out he went for coffee with me, and I was able to pick his brain for an hour. So you truly never know who will be willing to meet with you and who you can learn from. So whatever you desire, don't hesitate to reach out to people. Just make sure that you send them a tailored message to them and express that you would really like to take them out for coffee just to have a conversation about endeavors. And a lot of the time, people are more willing than not to give back. Another thing you're going to need to do, especially if you are desiring to make the leap from corporate to freelance, is you're going to need to invest in yourself. So this could mean buying online programs such as Adobe Creative Cloud so that you have Photoshop on your laptop, you have Adobe Premiere Pro on your laptop. You really need to invest in those types of programs. Maybe it's a type of camera if you do photography, or maybe it's a type of video camera, lighting. You are going to need to invest in the things that you believe will truly make you successful and make you ahead of the game, and that will desire people to hire you as freelance over going to, say, a boutique agency. So for me, this meant typing in my credit card number, investing into Adobe programs that I pay a monthly subscription to, because I know that this is something that I can truly offer my clients. I work with it now as well for, say, YouTube. So it's just something that you're going to need to do to be successful. That is the reality of it. If you are making the transition from corporate to freelance, the programs that you, say, had on your office computer, you probably might need to obtain onto your laptop. Investing in yourself could also mean taking additional programs or courses, or hiring somebody to teach you one-on-one, say, how to operate a camera better or how lighting works, all different things like that. Seek out courses, people, and truly invest in yourself, because this is what's going to make you one step ahead of the game always. Another thing I can't stress enough is time management. You really need to know how to manage your time correctly, and you need to have the self-discipline that it takes to work from your laptop no matter where you are. Say if you are in the most beautiful island in the whole world and it is the most stunning day you've ever seen, if you have work to do, you better be doing your work, because you have clients and you need to have that respect, that self-discipline, and you need to be that go-getter. You need to be ambitious. You need to understand what work needs to be done, and you need to stay on top of it. If you fall behind, you might end up falling right back into a desk job. So be sure that you are continually working and aspiring to be the best that you can be and produce your best work, because one client will lead to another, will lead to another. People are always having conversations, and you want your name to come up over somebody else's. So make sure that you are self-disciplined and motivated and continue to do your best work. In regards to always doing your best work and being that one person who's one step ahead of the game, that comes with continual learning. This means, say, those courses that I mentioned before, but it also means subscribing to those tech blogs, subscribing to marketing blogs, reading articles all the time that you believe will help you. Also, reading books, listening to podcasts. You always need to be one step ahead of the game. Tech is always changing. The internet is always changing. Marketing is always changing in ways. There's always new platforms. You need to be in the know to be able to produce the best work, to be able to get the clients, to be able to get your work done successfully. So be sure that whoever you feel like you want to mirror, say if this is somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk or Alex Icon or Tim Ferriss, be sure that you are subscribing to all of their resources, because you will be able to learn so incredibly much from them and all of their work, and it will continually inspire you to keep going and keep pursuing your dreams. The game is always changing, and you need to keep up. Next, especially if you do desire to be the digital nomad type with no specific home base, just moving place to place, you need to be comfortable with living out of a suitcase. This is what I'm doing right now. This is why I'm speaking to you from a bedroom in a sublet in downtown Toronto. I'm here for just another week, so that just gives you an example of you never know where you're going to be, but always make sure that you continue to work. Obviously, say filming a video like this, I'd like it to seem a more professional setting, say me at a desk or me in a coffee shop, but sometimes that's not the reality. I travel with a suitcase. I don't have lighting equipment. So sometimes it means being comfortable with being uncomfortable, being comfortable with only having a small amount of items to take with you. You can't keep obtaining things on the road if you do wish to keep traveling and keep moving and keep going on that adventure of being a digital nomad. So I live out of a suitcase. choice. I'm okay with it now. If you asked me this 2 years ago, I would have been like, no way, how does that even happen? But you will have to get comfortable with minimizing your belongings, maybe down to a suitcase, or even if you do desire to work from home, minimizing the clutter in your home can grant you a lot of clarity in your life. So just consider that. I do have a lot of videos on minimalism, so I'll be sure to link that playlist below as well. Next, I want to speak to you about letting go. So this is something you're going to have to get used to being a digital nomad. Sometimes when I say goodbye to my family and friends, I have no idea when I'm going to see them again. And also on the road, you're going to meet many incredible people, and you're going to have to say those goodbyes all the time. You need to be okay with letting go, with saying goodbye, with just trusting that the universe has a very special and unique path for you, and it grants you all the right people and all the right moments at the right time. Another thing you might have to do when making the initial leap into the unknown of, say, you're going to give up your apartment, you're going to give up your home, and now you're going to be on the road. That may mean that you need to say goodbye to a lover who doesn't have the same vision as you. You might need to say goodbye to the friends who don't really add value to your life. You might have to say goodbye to even family members who you feel like bring you down rather than bring you up. If this is your one dream and your one goal and the one fulfilling prophecy you have in your life, you just need to go for it. A life is so much better lived without those what ifs, so make sure that you're granting yourself your dream life. It's okay to say the goodbyes when you're putting yourself first. Next, I want to talk about taking that leap into the unknown. When you are ready to take the initial leap, the timing is never going to be perfect. The timing was not perfect for me whatsoever. I left Toronto almost a year ago now, and I left corporate Toronto in an agency to move to Italy where I didn't know anyone, and I lived with a host family where I did some au pair work as well. Obviously, going from corporate Toronto to being a nanny in some sense was a very uncomfortable transition, but I did what I had to do. I took 2 freelance clients over with me, and then through the year I gained a lot more work just from having that extra time to work on my social presence. Sometimes you just have to do whatever it takes. You have to leap into the unknown. Like I said, timing is never going to be perfect. I couldn't even pick a time now when I feel like it would have been perfect. Is it having 1 client? Is it having 2? Is it having 3? Is it having 4? No, because when you are uncomfortable, it pushes you to do whatever you can to feel a little bit more comfortable. So for me, financially, that was, no, now I'm taking an uncomfortable leap. I'm leaving this, salary job for freelance clients and becoming a nanny in a different country. So there was different streams of income I had to learn more about, I had to obtain, and in the end, because I was not as comfortable as I was financially, I pushed myself to become more comfortable financially, and now I am in a comfortable place. So when you push yourself, trust in yourself enough and trust in the universe that you'll be granted with the most amazing possibilities on the other side. Lastly, if this is your dream, like I've spoken about, keep it in your mind. If you have the conviction to make it happen, you'll make it happen. Live in your mind as if you are already this person. You are already this person who is building websites from your laptop and traveling the world and working from amazing remote places and being able to pick up and leave whenever you want because you only live out of a suitcase. If this is what you believe that your fulfilling dream is, then keep it in your mind. Do whatever it takes. Align your life so much with that there's no other option for you other than to say take off and leave. You'll be surprised, looking in hindsight, how fast it can actually happen. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's not going to be one special ebook that you download and you know how to build your future now and work online. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be the hard work, the determination, and it's going to take time. It goes by fast when you're fulfilling a dream. Just know that. Just know that when you're pursuing your passions, when you're going after something so crazy like this dream that you might have, it is going to be all the more fulfilling on the other side. I'm wishing you all the very best, and I also want you to know that there's tons more digital nomad content that I've been writing up so far. So be prepared to get inspired, because if this is something that you desire, or if you desire to work from home, I'm going to be helping you out with some of those skills that you need to obtain, elaborating a little bit more on this content so far, and of course a little bit more additional content as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and also subscribe. I'll see you again very soon. Bye!